Okay, now we should be, if my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour.
We're going to be 88 before we get the show off the road.
Yeah, it says it's going live. So it probably went to a different live stream, knowing Riverside. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I went to a different one, but we're live. So disappointing. So disappointing. All right. Well, it is what it is. All right.
So maybe can we do it this way?
Yeah.
Instead of sharing a pre-made link, go live first and then share a link.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is to let people know we're going to be live so we have an audience.
No, I get it, but if it's
Yeah,
now
it
pointing
should
them
work.
to a page that's not working.
I did everything
Yeah,
right. I don't know. Well, it is what it is. Hello, and thank you for hanging in there, chat fam. We should be good to go in a couple minutes here at the most. All right. And live stream chat is back on. Hopefully people can find us. I don't know. Hopefully Riverside monitors these. Riverside, I'm disappointed in you. All right. All right. Testing this again because we went in and out 17 times.
You're good. How about me?
Yep, you're good. You're always good.
Not always. See also the Strange New Worlds premiere.
Uh-huh. All right.
I left all my D&D dice out, putting them away.
20-sided die.
I have 5 20-sided die.
That's my nerd heavy metal band. All right, 11 minutes of trying to get Riverside to work and giving the fudge up. Hopefully someone will find us. All right. Hello, Trek Explorers, and welcome back to Treksploration. I'm Albie.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're talking about Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 21, The Arsenal of Freedom, or as Chris likes to call it.
The Arsenal of Bijans, although
What?
I don't know if it's worthy of that moniker any longer.
Yeah, that's kind of, that's, you know what? I remember this episode being better. Like, I have better memories of it than what I just watched. But, you know, we'll talk about that. There are some good things about it. I'm not going to lie. This episode, how you doing, Chris?
How am I doing? I watched this episode, but still I'm doing fine.
Good.
How about you? What's going on in your end of the world? I have all my D&D dice out. I was gaming the last time I was on mic, so it's like I have like hands full of all my die, and
I'm gonna drop the axe. What do I roll?
I got to put them away. So let's first you got to roll initiative. But let's say you're.
I have none of that.
Let's say it's your turn in the initiative, so then you have to roll to hit.
Okay.
So,
hit me.
You're using your axe. It might have. Is it a +1? Like a +1 grade axe, so +1 to hit.
It's the axe from Zork, so I'm not sure.
So you got to roll a Zork-sided dice.
Okay.
And if you get a Zork Supreme, and you beat their Zork class, then you get to Zork them with the axe.
Zork from Orc. Read pamphlet. Take pamphlet.
Is Zork a game? What is that?
It's a text adventure. Old basic program, basically, I think.
See. I didn't have a computer. I
wasn't go north, go south, open door, find key.
I wasn't a rich kid like you, so I didn't have a computer.
I had a Commodore 64.
Games.
I had one Commodore 64.
We had no idea how to use it. We had one. Aunt and uncle bought it for us, and I swear to God, the only thing I figured out, you hook it up to the TV, so that was one. So then you could get like the DOS prompt on the screen, or I think it's the C prompt, whatever it is.
Yep.
And then we just figured out like this thing where you could just make the text scroll. There's like a command, and that was the only thing. And I am not kidding. That is the only thing we ever did with that thing.
10, print Albie. 20, go to 10, run. And
And
just
then,
Albie all over the screen.
oh, there you go.
The Omnipotent Willard says his first computer was an Atari 800. Mine was a Commodore 64. I learned how to type in the programs that came with the manual. I never learned how to save them. One thing I did learn, because I was a boy, and it was a computer, so what boys do with computers, I learned that different text could be different colors, so I just draw naked ladies with ASCII.
ASCII being the primary word right there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
but it looked like a really bad cartoon. But it's
Okay
all we
then.
had back then. It was the 80s. We had that and squiggly line television, That's all
Well,
we
that's
had.
it. Yep.
So,
Sometimes we had it, sometimes we didn't.
my favorite computer game was Factory.
My favorite computer game was Medieval.
Ooh, I want to play that.
It was on PlayStation. I bought myself a
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Yeah,
I think it was a
PS1.
PS2.
PS2 is nice. My favorite PS2 game is probably Family Guy. I think I got the PS5 now.
Oh yeah, no, I had the PS2. I played Medieval. I beat Medieval 1. Then I bought Silent Hill, and that was really creepy as AF. I didn't think I finished Silent Hill. I might have, but it just got a little bit too. And then Medieval 2 came out, and I got about halfway through that, and then I gave the gaming system to my nephews,
Aw.
and I was done.
My favorite games are the FMV games, like we played with Star Trek Borg and Star Trek Klingon. They had those for the PC back then too.
Well, I guess maybe it's a little bit different. It's like fun playing that kind of stuff with you, even those games can be a little bit tedious,
A
but
little
it's
bit.
fun to do it together. Like I
Yeah.
feel like I was
Group
gaming a
activity.
lot. For me, I was gaming a lot with that PS2. The 1 3/4 games I played, and it just felt like I could be reading.
I could be napping. Yeah,
Right?
now that I can afford the nice computer game system, nice computer games, I'm so old that I just fall asleep playing them. So,
Gotcha.
yay!
So,
Pitfall was good. Jack Black, right?
Pitfall.
Yep.
That was an Atari game. That was the
Yep. Oh, speaking of Jack Black, we saw the new Minecraft movie in IMAX. It's pretty good.
Jack Black in that.
Yeah, we went opening weekend to the IMAX, and it was like a WWE event. All the crowd was like going crazy the whole time for everything. I think they popped even for when the table came up. There was like a table, and just everybody lost their mind.
Okay. I've never seen Minecraft actually played.
Hmm.
I've been in the room when again those aforementioned actually different nieces and nephews were playing it. My
Big
my
family
niece
over there.
was really into it for a little while. So
Yeah, it's been out a while, so all different ages are liking it. It's after us, but it was a good movie. They understood the assignment. They knew it was going to be silly and funny and not Oscar worthy, and they just enjoyed it the whole time.
I think that's just the way you need to go.
Yeah, Atari. Omnipotent Willard says Atari 2600 first gaming system. Pitfall was my fave. I even had ET. I had ET too. Loved ET. Never beat it. I played it about a year and a half ago again, and I had the tutorial how to beat it, and I still couldn't beat it.
Did you get one of the ones that was dug up out of the landfill, or
My original one came from I think KB Toys, but then my new one was from eBay, so I don't know where it came from. Maybe out of the landfill. That would have been cool.
yeah,
I watched that documentary, and then that's why I had to play it again.
that was like a non-documentary. Everybody knew exactly where those were. I mean, there's no secret that they just dumped them all in a landfill. I guess they, retro documentary maker said, "Hey, I could, that guy Albie keeps buying VHS tapes, so he'll probably like
Maybe-
this. Let's make it for him."
Maybe we'll get him to buy the documentary on VHS and then buy one of these ET cartridges we got stuck with.
Right, right. Oh, now I remember why they buried these because this was an awful game.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's fun though. It's fun. I just never read the directions when I was a kid, so I played it for months and I never did anything but.
I don't know
fall in a
that
pit
there
and
are any
smell a flower.
directions. I mean,
I think it did come with directions.
I remember listening. It might have been Radiolab or maybe 99% Invisible or maybe Anyway, one podcast I listened to really went over like the history of the game and how it was pushed out like in weeks.
Yeah, the
So
guy had to
was-
write in weeks. So
yeah, so it was
wa-
like completely garbage.
but for that short time span and one person doing it, I mean, it's amazing for back then the technology because it wasn't like you have game makers now where you just drag and drop nodes. for simple games. You
I
had to
love I
actually
love how
code it.
you think I know how they make games. Dragging and dropping nodes. Dropping
Maker
nodes.
Arcade. Maker Arcade, you can make your own Atari, maybe Nintendo 64 style games. They're pretty fun. Rennie made some. And I was like, really? Oh, and Suzanne's kid, Jonathan, made amazing games on that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Pretty cool
That,
stuff.
that new generation boy.
Yeah. Speaking of the new generation, we're talking about the next generation Arsenal of Freedom, Season 1, Episode 21, Stardate 41798.2. That would be the year in the Gregorian calendar of 2364. Original air date April 11th. Hey, that's pretty close to where we are,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
1988. All right. 1 year till Taylor Swift. Story by Maurice Hurley and Robert Lewin. Teleplay by Richard Manning and Hans Beimler. Bemler?
Beamler. You had it right.
Beimler. Okay. Directed by Les Landau. Hey, Chris,
Hey, what?
would you like to do the episode synopsis first or talk about what's going on in Trek world right now?
Let's talk about. I mean, I see that you put a little news segment up top here, so why not just do it up top? Let's just follow the rundown to the letter today.
All right. People that don't know us so much don't realize that Chris used to be in the news business, so I figured I'd put some news in. And I'm just going to kick it over to Chris in the studio with this first story. We have a release date for Strange New Worlds.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. This just in, Strange New Worlds premieres on June 14th.
June 14th.
2025. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3 to premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival in June. How did they get to the Tribeca Film Festival?
I don't know. Where is Tribeca? Is that in New York? That sounds like New York.
It sounds like New York, yeah. So,
Yeah, so
maybe
maybe
I'll
you could
go
go.
see them.
Maybe
June.
you can go get a ticket.
Let's see. It's April.
Paramount Plus just invited us
May.
to something.
Paramount Plus invited us to something.
Yeah.
Was it the opening of an envelope?
Maybe at the
It's
Tribeca
funny you
Film
say
Festival.
that,
That would be really cool.
I thought you were talking about NBC because they, our old Quantum Leap cred, but
Yeah.
Paramount Plus invited us. I think that has to be a mistake or just a mass email.
Probably a mass email to
Yeah.
any Trek content creators, I'm thinking. So that's cool. So June 14th. So you're going to tell me you have an anniversary, a birthday, and an opera on June 14th,
I was
right?
just thinking about you. It's funny you say that. Do I have an opera that day? But no, the opera ends. What's it now? It's April.
Yes,
So yeah, I
April.
have one. I have one this month, and I have one next month.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
yeah. So and then so June should be free.
Although that's past my birthday, so
What
Might be-
does your birthday have to do with it?
I might be too old to watch it or to comprehend it. I think I get geriatric in the next few months.
Well, then I must be so far gone that wow. If you're getting geriatric, I'm probably going to be in the grave by the time that
My,
premieres.
my idea is to scare myself so my adrenaline kicks in so I don't age.
Oh, because that's healthy.
Um,
I think you
okay.
need to talk to Deanna Troy.
Oh, man, do I want to.
See, keep thinking those thoughts.
That might keep me a little
That's
bit
better
younger.
adrenaline. Anyway,
And I see here, which I'm excited for, there's some talk about Star Trek Lower Decks, the series and graphic novel nominated for a Hugo Awards.
wow. Which award? Like, is there a best animation or
I don't know.
I don't even
I
know.
should have hyperlinked it. I did not. I
Right?
did with
I
the next
mean-
story, I think.
And of course, I left my dumb phone over there.
What's charging? It's cool, though. It folds in half.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Everybody knows Lower Decks is awesome. Hopefully that helps maybe once they figure out what they're doing with Paramount and Star Trek to get us some more Lower Decks eventually. What I'm excited about is this next thing I just saw is the Cerritos gang is back in Time on the Titanic in a preview of Star Trek Lower Decks number 6. So the comic book,
Yeah.
they're going to the Titanic.
Oh, okay. I can probably find that in my comic shop if you want a copy. Do you have a comic
Yeah.
shop by you?
We do, and it's on our walking route.
Oh, then
So I'm going to find out the street date. I don't quite know yet. I'm reading the story, but I don't see the street date.
you should go into that comic shop and say, "Hi, I'm Albie. Can I start a pull list?" And they'll
I,
say,
I used to
"Sure,
do
you
that,
can."
and I was up to like $100 a month. Then I
Yeah.
had to stop.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I would just like put everything that Joss Whedon writes in there created. Bad idea.
I had a lot of DC. I still do mainly DC. So and they got me again, man. I think because I work so much,
Mhm.
I'm not really reading long books anymore. I mean, it took me about 6 months to finish just like a 400-page paperback,
Mm.
which I normally would have read in like a week or so,
Yeah.
when I had time to read. So I've been finding that the comics, I can get one done in a very short bit of time.
Mhm.
Once that burst is over, then I can move on with the rest of the stuff I have to do. But at least I'm, quote, reading.
Mhm.
And it's nice. And they've got a whole bunch of new books out in the DC universe that are like different versions of the heroes that you all know, their iconic heroes. So I've been really getting into those. And I had about a dozen, maybe half a dozen, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 12 Star Trek books. I was starting to read some of the, I guess it's IDW that puts them out. Some of the IDW titles to see what they were like. There was a DS9 one I did, and
Mm.
there was one called Reflections, which was set in the TMP
Mhm.
time era. And I just took all those and I bagged them up and I mailed them to my friend Virginia. I once I'm done with the comics, I'm not going to do what I used to do. I still have boxes of comics out in the garage that I haven't looked at in like over a decade.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with them. I don't want to throw them away. I don't know. They're not, they're from the 90s and 2000s.
Mhm.
They're not going to be worth anything. So what do I
Mhm.
do? You know?
Yeah. Best you can get is like $50 for a complete set or something now.
Yeah. And I'll just say, you know what? Here, I'll give you 50 to take it away. How about that?
Exactly. Well,
But
thank you for sending me those Elf comics.
yeah, well,
Those
that's
were cool.
that gives me the excuse to go into the comic book
Yeah.
shops.
Some
So
some were doubles that I had, but the most of them you sent were the UK versions, which I didn't have.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just grabbed all the Alps.
So somebody must have came over here, like immigrated in on something like the Titanic, and brought their comic book collection, their Alf comic book collection.
Right.
So there are crazy people like me that imported UK Alf comics.
I guess. I guess. Well, hey, it takes a village, right?
Yeah.
Ha!
Ha.
Did I do it right?
Yeah. Ha. Mrs. Achmonic. So I'm excited for the Titanic lower decks thing because Rennie's favorite thing in history right now is Titanic.
Oh,
She,
okay. I
she
was wondering
reads
why that.
books. She learns
Yeah.
all about it. Like we watched the other night on the night that the ship sank, the 113th anniversary, I think, which was April 14th. We watched the Titanic movie, James Cameron in 3D. So that was nice. And the whole time she was telling me all the facts she knew. She was like, "I'm
Okay.
sorry I'm interrupting it." I was like, "I've seen it 20 times. Tell me all these facts. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like a
okay.
commentary track." So
That's
she's really
great.
into it. So that'll be a nice surprise for her.
That's funny. I was wondering why you were so hopped up on like an issue 6 of a Lower Decks comic that you've probably never read before.
Yeah, I haven't read the first 5, but
Yeah,
I
exactly.
guess I'll pick them all up. But it'd be cool, something to read.
Yeah.
But Titanic, I'll buy that one for Rennie.
Finding the back issues is also a fun thing.
Yeah, it is. Especially probably one is probably a little rare, right?
So I'll see if I can find it for you.
Yeah, I'll let you know what I find when I find it.
Okay.
So we're talking about Arsenal of Freedom.
It's the Arsenal of Freedom.
The Arsenal of Freedom.
Don't forget the article.
The article. Okay. Speaking of article, would you like to read this episode synopsis?
I can, and I shall.
Thank you, Chris.
Buckle up. The Big E is approaching the planet Minos to investigate the disappearance of the USS Drake. Drake commander, Captain Rice, was one of Riker's Academy bros and Will wants to rescue him so they can go to the frat reunion on Risa and snap towels in the locker room. So, about planet Minos. The Minosians are legendary arms dealers of yore, but the planet's surface is entirely devoid of life. Despite that, the ship receives a hail and an enthusiastic huckster appears on the view screen and yeah, it's that guy, that guy who played all the weird offbeat roles in
He was in
70s
everything.
and 80s TV. That guy, you know him. You'll know him when you see him.
Yep.
Turns out it's just an automated sales pitch for all the best weapons to murder your worst foes. Riker, Yar, and Data beam down to investigate. The fake foliage on Planet Blue Screen soundstage is pretty dense, and the landing party wanders through the brush, discovering a needle laser rifle. Suddenly, Captain Rice appears. No one reads any life signs, but that doesn't deter Rice, who starts asking Riker questions about the Enterprise and its capabilities. But Riker is hella smart and tells the obvious projection to take a hike. Fake Rice is all like, oh yeah, and encases Riker in a force field. Before Yar and Data can react, they are fired on by an automated drone. Picard leaves LaForge in command, and he and Dr. Crusher beam down to see if Will can be helped. But another aerial attack sends the party scattering. Jean-Luc and Beverly fall into a giant hole in the ground. Picard walks it off, but Beverly has been gravely injured. Back on the surface, Data and Yar destroy the Pew Pew probe and figure out how to free Riker. They run around fighting yet more probes while Beverly is quickly fading. Like, what did she fall on? Communications won't work, but not to worry. The landing party knows that once LaForge can establish communications, he will order an emergency beam up, and Geordi does just that. But not so fast. The Enterprise shields snap up automatically as the ship is fired upon from an orbital probe that they can't target. Okay, I love this. Is my favorite part of the episode. A very cheesed Chief Engineer Logan insists that Geordi break orbit and get away. The ship can't take much more of this. Geordi tells him to go scratch and works with Worf to find a solution, but despite their best efforts, the Enterprise continues to take a beating. So Geordi thinks outside the box and orders the Enterprise to warp out of orbit. Logan is all like, "You're breaking orbit and deserting the landing party? Unacceptable!" And it's precisely that keen ability to make up his mind that I'm sure we're going to see. I should have written that a little bit better. And it's precisely because of that keen ability to make up his mind that I'm sure that we're going to see Chief Engineer Logan around for a long, long time. Geordi sticks to his guns and the ship retreats, but aha, Geordi orders saucer separation. Logan, you stay here with the children and puppies while we take the star drive section and end this. As all of this is going on, Picard wanders away from a comatose Beverly and discovers an old computer screen. He switches it on, and a giant computer console comes to life. The automated salesman pops back into view and says, "How about that perfect killing system, huh? Just wait, it's now cooking up an unstoppable weapon to kill who's ever on the surface." Unstoppable weapon to kill who's ever on the surface. Back in orbit around Minos, the Enterprise gets another probe drubbing, but remembering the famous Picard troubled teen maneuver from Coming of Age, Geordi orders the ship into the planet's atmosphere. The friction creates a fire trail that allows them to see the probe and destroy it. Back on the planet, the super kill weapon will be ready any second. Riker, Yar, and Data discover the hole, since they have no ropes or grappling hooks because they're not Batman, to effectuate a rescue. Data jumps down first contact missile silo style.
Yeah.
He and Picard bicker about how to stop the weapon when Beverly says, "Hey, dummies, just tell this hologram that you're satisfied and that he can end the simulation. You know, you made the sale." And guess what? The ploy works. Geordi beams everyone up, and all's well that ends well, but not for Worf. He stares poignantly into the middle distance and growls, "But what of Lazarus?" The end.
But what of Lazarus?
I love "But what of Lazarus." That's like my favorite ending of an episode.
Wow. This seemed more exciting than the episode I watched, but it was all detailed and right.
You know what? I really tried. I mean, I guess we're getting into first impressions.
There you go.
I really tried to do this episode at least the justice of summarizing it, because I could have summarized it in about 3 sentences. I really could have. And I guess maybe that goes to my first impressions. I know Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1 gets a pretty bad rap. But I have to say, I have not seen a genuinely bad episode until now. And that even counts the one that everybody hates with the fight and the, what's it called? Code of Honor. Yeah, Code of Honor.
Roll for Taraco.
Hey,
hello, gents. Hello, roll for Taraco.
Ruffalo Tacos in the house. Yeah, this was, I think, the first objectively bad episode of Next Generation that I've ever seen. Edit this out so I can say that clearly, so they can put it on the poster. This has to be the first objectively bad episode of Next Gen that I've ever seen. What are your first impressions?
A lot of it was bad because it wasn't good, but some parts were good. I enjoyed some parts, but most of it was just like wandering around the garden section at a Lowe's, being chased by one of those plastic eggs that pantyhose comes in.
Yeah. I mean,
And
and
it
you
was
could
weird.
see, like, were they holding it on like a broomstick to like make it go across the trees, or was it on a fishing line?
I don't know. I actually have to go back and watch either the VHS or the Laserdisc or something. I would just watch Paramount Plus, which are the Blu-ray scans. So if it had strings or or rods. I didn't see it. Maybe it
Strings
was
and rods.
Compton. I think it might have been Compton, but yeah, I remember it being better. There was parts that I still liked. I liked the whole, like Beverly almost telling Picard something, but not. It's, continuing that storyline. But I'm
I
sure we'll get into a lot of
hmm.
that in a bit. But first, we should say things and stuff.
Things and stuff. Well, one of the things and stuff that we like to say at this point in the show is we want to know what you think about
Mm.
this episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. You can always reach us right here on the YouTube channel. Comment below. That's youtube.com/at Treksploration.
Hmm.
You can also join us on our Patreon site. That's patreon.com/Treksploration. There are places to comment over there, but we like to keep the main focus of discussion right down here below on the YouTube. It helps the show grow that way. You can also find us on Instagram, Treksploration Pod. That's at Treksploration
Exploration.
Pod. And you can go to Blue Sky at
Mine.
Treksploration. Nothing but blue
Blue
sky.
skies.
And TikTok dance us at Treksploration. Send us an email telling us what you think at treksplorationpod@gmail.com. You can also send us a physical copy of your book report on why I loved the Arsenal of Freedom at P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York. That's P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705. If you like the show and you want to support it, you can do it at the aforementioned Patreon site, or you can do a one-time support at buymeacoffee.com/Treksploration. Go over there, buy us a coffee. Be like our lifetime member, the omnipotent Willard.
The omnipotent Willard.
We know that Willard has gone over and bought us a cup of coffee. He even
Heck
bought
yeah.
us pounds of coffee. So he said, "Oh, you got it.
Heck yeah.
You
Look
got
at
it." I
that.
finally sent Albie his pounds of
Woo!
coffee
And the cool mug.
and the cool mug. We all have the cool mug. So yeah, so we
My,
can
my mug's actually in the cabinet because I've been using it.
thank you, Omnipotent Willard. And
Hmm.
you can be like the Omnipotent Willard and the rest of our intrepid. I always get it right, and I'm just screwing up tonight. And the rest of our crew of intrepid Trek explorers. Those include our cadet, Listen Linda, our Lieutenant Commander, Scott Seligman, and Cosplay Dad, and our captain on the bridge, Captain Charles
Captain
from Texas.
Charles.
Charles, we barely hear from ye these days, Charles. Come, let us know that you haven't forsaken us, Charles.
I think he trusts his crew.
And I
I
hope
think that's
so.
what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's trust in your crew. Then there's just phoning it in. I don't know. I'm teasing Charles. I'd love you to phone it in. We'd love to hear from you. But
Yeah, that'd be great. Get
also,
Charles back on.
thanks to everybody that has followed us on YouTube and our Patreon site. All of your subscriptions mean so much to us. Send us your photos for the credits if you have subscribed. Albie
Yes,
will put
please.
everybody in the credits. He puts
And
all
I'll blur out
comers.
things that are inappropriate, but send them anyway.
Oh, yes. I'm not going to be involved in that. Plausible deniability.
Well, for Draco says, "Wow, that's cool coffee." Yes, it is. It smells amazing too. And then he also says, "Let me do this one for 20. I can do it. Show on the stream. There we
Oh,
go.
there we go. So
I
we
just
were
had a
talking about
flashback
the pew pew probe.
of seeing pantyhose eggs in the store. Did Easter Bunny deliver those eggs when he wasn't delivering chocolate eggs? That's funny.
Yeah, it depended on which house in the neighborhood he was hitting, brother.
Yes. Would free members be considered part of the lower decks? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Do you
I
want to
like
be
that.
considered part of the lower decks?
Yeah.
Then it's you. You're all part of the lower decks, free members.
Thank you for Chiraco. Yeah, I remember those plastic pantyhose eggs, and they made it hard for a guy to buy pantyhose back then. Just saying.
You figure the egg would be somewhat discreet, but you can't really
Yeah,
fit it
but
in your
they were so
pocket.
huge.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
What
know.
was it? I think it was. I saw behind the scenes of Shatner and Stewart talking about wearing pantyhose under your pants when you're riding horses or something like that. So I figured that would help with my chafing.
Oh, is that what that's for? It's for chafing?
I think so. So
I thought it might be the girdle effect for Shatner. He had the control top.
I couldn't do it.
That's why he did it. Sure, Bill. It's for riding horses. Yes. We know, Bill.
Yeah.
We know.
Now it's much better. We have the the spandex boxer shorts or whatever they are.
Well,
briefs.
maybe you do. I'm still team tighty whitey.
Well, yeah, but you're muscular and tiny, and you don't have all the fat. I
No,
got
no, I'm neither of those things. Anyway, we got some feedback. We
feedback. Do we
did
got
the
feedback?
trailer. Well, last show. Has the last show even gone up yet? I haven't been able to see.
I had a busy week. We were
Yeah.
filming Rennie's
Yes, I
student
know.
film,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I focused on, and I didn't get the editing done for
Gotcha. Okay, so
the HD version of our last show, but the live stream's still up there.
gotcha. So, but it will eventually be up. And the
Yes,
live
it
stream
should
is up.
drop before this HD stream.
But what we
or
did, we
HD
had the
one.
brilliant idea while we had a little bit of the delay to
Mhm.
pull out a snippet that we did about, for us, a snippet's 20 minutes, reviewing the new trailer that dropped for Strange New World Season 3.
Mhm.
And we got some varying reactions here. First from our cadet, Listen Linda. She writes, can't wait. I'm planning on rewatching seasons 1 and 2 as soon as I'm done with White Lotus.
White Lotus. I haven't seen that yet. I've seen White POTUS, but not White Lotus. Everybody's saying watch it, so I'll probably watch it.
I probably won't. So
I-
you
I
and Linda will
finished-
have so much to talk about.
I finished Severance. It's worth watching season 2, Chris. Just saying.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that from other sources
Yeah.
too.
They did good. They stuck the landing too.
What have I've been doing lately? Despite my better judgment, I've been catching up on Wheel of Time on Amazon.
Ah, I thought you
Because
were going
I
to say
was
Wheel
such
of
a
Fortune.
huge Wheel of Time fan for a long, long time until it left a bad taste in my mouth with the later books.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the series itself is finding a footing, and it's taking a lot of the good stuff from the books and leaving a lot of the nonsense behind. So I would say, it's not as exciting as Game of Thrones, not as compelling, but it's still, I'd say, okay. It's like it's a little better than okay. It's getting pretty good.
I am sad about Game of Thrones, because I just waited on it too long, and then I found out it ended bad. So now I don't know if I want to go through it, even though it ended bad. You know
I don't
what
think
I'm
it ended bad.
No?
Well, the thing is, it eclipsed the books because the books are still waiting to be finished.
saying? Right.
He's got, I think, 2 more to write. He's never going to write them.
No.
And that's fine because the ones that he wrote were so good. Maybe A Feast for Crows wasn't that great. But anyway.
Did I ever tell you I met his assistant? Interviewed her. It was really cool.
George R.R. Martin has an assistant.
Yeah, to do stuff. But yeah, I interviewed her.
Can she poke him with a stick to get writing?
That's what everybody asks her.
Yeah.
I think her name was Rhea. We're still online friends and stuff. But yeah, she was nice and talked all about it. She wrote a comic book, so that's how I got to interview her.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Well, give me the circumstances here.
Yeah. I was at a convention, I think in Denver,
Way back when,
way back when.
that Denver convention.
The Denver convention.
That was so yesterday's news.
The one where I interviewed Jason Voorhees.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not very talkative.
What
So that's nice from Listen Linda.
So you must be the final girl since you're here talking to me about it.
So should I watch Game of Thrones?
I think so.
Okay.
I think you should read it first. quite
I
frankly.
started, but then it doesn't have an ending, right? Or does it?
It doesn't, but then the series once again eclipses it and it makes its own ending, so you can get some kind of closure.
What part of the series is Peter Dinklage like in a dragon cave or something? I think that's what I watched up to.
A dragon.
He was in a cave. He was in a cave.
He was probably then at that point with Daenerys.
No clue.
Across the narrow sea, and he was probably in the. She had to start keeping them under the keep because they were flying around and ranging and like eating people.
Must have been the first few episodes though, because I don't remember much. Because I watched
the
it 'cause of
dragons.
him,
The dragons don't show up. I mean, they do show up in the first.
Jason
the
Momoa.
first season, but
I think, yeah.
maybe the first episode.
Okay,
Jason
I'll give it a
Momoa,
try.
yes, Khal Drogo. Anyway, so we got a couple of other. I mean, this isn't from Linda, but some comments on the Strange New World trailer.
Okay.
So the way we did it, and I don't know. I mean, this is just the way it came. It was natural for us, but Albie started playing it, and then as we saw something, we would pause and then go back and then talk about it, and then pause and then go back and talk about something else, and then let it play and then go back. And Steve Brandt, 55, said, "I really wish you would not pause to talk about things." The trailer reviews I have watched over time are first watch and respond in real time, then talk about what you've just watched. Thanks for listening. Didn't we have some trepidation that with a live stream, if we played a trailer all the way through, they would just shut us right down?
Yeah, because it's like 30 seconds. So if they find the whole thing, especially like the whole audio and we're quiet and stuff and don't talk over it, then the algorithm will just delete it.
I'm not really sure because I got to think I've seen like other review sites put up the entire trailer and then they
Yeah.
talk about it. So,
Well, we used to with Quantum Leap, but we knew NBC, so they never hit us with anything.
and let's
You know?
let's face it, nobody cares about Quantum Leap. I mean, and I say that I'm wearing my Quantum Leap pin, so
Yeah,
my reboot pin.
we do. We're small but strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe next time we'll do that and give it a try and see. But my thought was, anybody who's watching us review the trailer has already seen the trailer 3 or 4 times.
That's what I was thinking too. It's just like if you got to us first
Yeah.
to see that trailer, I'm sorry, but I'm happy. I'm happy. Maybe some kind of search took you to us first.
Yeah.
That's blows
That's
my
pretty
mind.
cool.
It's blowing my mind.
We got a lot of views on that. Not as many as their 7 of 9 video, but a lot of views. So that's good.
That's good. Well, I mean,
Okay,
thank
we'll
God
do that.
that
Thanks, Steve. Yeah.
yeah, Steve, we'll take it under advisement. Thank God Nightwind 67. Really, he goes a little bit easier on us. Very annoying. I didn't even watch half of it. So he's not talking about us, Albie. He must be talking about the trailer.
Must be the trailer, not us. He loves us, just not the trailer. We're definitely a cup of tea that some people like and some people don't.
I'm
but
telling you.
That's all right. Not everything is for everybody.
So, and our last comment comes from another YouTube watcher. It's Digia Comtech 5589. You sparked a thought about all the great looking girls in Star Trek and those retro AI clips we've all seen. Suppose artificial gravity works best on certain denser tissues, exerting a lesser effect on lesser tissues, making things look more perky as described in the book. The women is a harsh mistress. I think it's the moon
Probably.
is a harsh mistress, but
Something like that.
something like that. I mean, you can just say my boobs are perkier. I think that was Beverly's
Yeah.
main line in one of the feature films, like the only line she had. She was talking about her breasts.
That would have been Insurrection,
I guess so.
where they were de-aging a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we were talking about the AI versions of Star Wars, Star Trek, this and that they put out that looks like the 60s. So, yeah.
Yeah. Panavision in living
Yeah.
color. Those are pretty cool trailers.
Yeah, I guess in sci-fi physics that's right, but I know in real physics, you drop a bowling ball or a golf ball and a feather on the moon and they land at the same time because no atmosphere, right?
Truth.
Truth.
You speak truth. Well, I mean, thank you, Digia, for saying the things that we were all thinking.
Yeah.
The two main things we were all thinking about.
We're pretty simple folk here.
I tell you. Pretty lecherous
Yeah.
folk here.
Speaking of those things, I have to say, we had
Speaking
a
of
new
what things?
we had a new ensign on the bridge. What was her name? Let's go down to the casting. Did we put the cast in this time?
The one with the awesome hair?
I wasn't looking at
Yes,
the hair.
it's Ensign Leon Tasu.
Yes, Ensign
Sue?
Sue.
I think you just pronounce it Sue.
Yeah, Sue. The T is silent, I think. But
A
it
boy
was
named
weird.
Sue?
Like she had, how I mentioned how the uniforms got bigger, like they weren't shrunk to fit anymore. Like in season 1, halfway through, they because the cast was having back problems when this
Right,
the
because
onesies were too tight,
Yeah, constant wedgies, right?
so they're looser. So they're not as flattering to the people's forms. And she had. I think she was just wearing a standard one. They weren't going to make a fresh one for her because she's just ensign of the week. But she had her uniform tucked under her boobs while she was lounging at the console, and it was
I did
just
not
weird.
notice. You got
was
to
just
you got to
weird
just
looking.
pop up a picture of that right about here, so that when I'm watching this after the fact, when it's produced, I'll be like, "Ooh, now I have a reason to watch. I have a reason to watch us."
It looks all right, like the straight on shot, but when they do the close up on her, and it's like her shirt's tucked under her boobs, and it's just weird.
All right. Well,
haven't seen
Julia
that before.
Nixon, who played Ensign Leon Sue, thank you, Julia. That is probably what you were going for with that performance. That's what you wanted everybody to come away with. So
They probably just had an extra one to Michael Dorns and said, "Wear this," and she's like, "It's too big. Tuck it in."
mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Thank you for all the feedback. Please leave more down below.
I guess
Let
we'll
us
do
know how
better
we're
on
doing.
trailers next time. Maybe we'll figure out how to do a regular, a good trailer. Or
Yeah.
how about we just do it our way? How about that?
That could be.
I don't know.
I just assumed, Oh, did you watch? the new Black Mirror with the Star Trek alike
Callister?
episode? Yeah, the
Yes,
Callister
I
part
did.
2?
I watched Callister Part 2.
That was good. I liked it.
I thought it was pretty okay.
It was much better than Section 31. Okay, that's your
Oh,
little
well, I
mini
mean,
review
oh,
of it.
well, okay. That's a real high bar right there.
Well, I mean, if you have to compare like Star Trek to Star Trek parody homage genre, that's not
Right.
Star Trek, and the actual parody is better than the real thing.
Even better than the real thing, baby.
Just saying. I don't know if we you want us to cover it. Anybody on the crew, let us know if you want us to cover those two episodes. But I really enjoyed them, and that was Tracy McConnell from How I Met Your Mother, right?
No,
What's her
Tracy,
name?
her
Oh,
real
that's her
name?
character name on How I
Oh,
Met Your
yeah,
Mother.
yeah, yeah. That
But you
is,
know her from something else, right?
she was Sophia Falcone on Penguin, and she
Yeah,
got,
I
I
haven't
think
watched
she like
Penguin
won,
yet.
didn't she win an Emmy for that?
Wow. I just know
And
her as Tracy McConnell.
yeah, no, and I had her name in my head 3 seconds ago, and it just ran out because you asked me what it was.
Oh, you'll think of it and just shout it out randomly.
Christine Milioti.
Yes, that's it. I
Yes,
looked up
yes.
her name because she plays the ukulele on YouTube when she sings La Vie en Ro. I can't pronounce
La
it.
Vie en Rose.
That's it. Probably
But
my favorite ukulele song, even better than Somewhere Over the Rainbow by the Hawaiian Guy.
how about Tiny Bubbles by Don Ho?
That'd be probably number 3 or 5.
3 or 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Take that, Don Ho.
But it's up there, you know. So, but yeah, I recommend that if you got it. I'll link it down below. It makes you cry. I like to
Okay.
cry to ukulele music. That's a little thing about me you might not know.
No, it's something I'll never be able to forget. Albie, bringing down ukulele music for everybody.
No, no, in a good way. In a good way. You know, like Worf listening to Klingon opera, you just get emotional.
Okay, I cry at opera.
All right, there was good parts about this episode.
There were themes that strove to be good parts, but didn't quite make it, in my opinion.
Okay,
So, I mean, where would you want to start with? I guess like
we
the
can do it in
obvious
order.
Star Trek themes here.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, obviously, war is bad. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
I mean, war profiteering is worse.
Yep.
Yeah. So the fact that they go to this planet, which is again like I don't know, Magrathea, where although they already found Magrathea earlier in the season, I think
Hmm.
that again it's going to these planets. Like this one planet, the entire freaking planet, the only thing that's on this planet, which is presumably a culture of Minosians
Right.
for hundreds and thousands of years, millennia, building up a society, but the only thing on this planet now is just an arms dealership. Like, how does that work? Where's the rest of the culture? How
And the garden
and
center at Lowe's.
and the garden center at Lowe's. Yes, on the only thing left on that planet is a blue screen that's redressed to sort of look like a forest. Maybe I don't know. I that being
The,
said, I mean, yeah. Listen, obviously, this is what a bottle episode.
yeah,
They had, it's like Lost in Space level.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So yeah, you're right. I mean, even
The
the
main
forest
plot was the
looks
weakest
fake.
part of the
Yeah.
whole thing.
But so there's a commentary there about how there is no more life left on the planet, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about. I'm waiting for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already worried just on that tired premise. I'm waiting for them to go into the fact that this system, this doomsday weapon that they created, wiped out all life here. But I don't recall them ever actually saying that directly. I think it's just always left implied
Mm-hmm.
in the background, and I think that it was a much better episode when it was called the Doomsday Machine. Don't you agree? I
Yeah, it definitely has echoes of that. And it says story by Maurice Hurley and Robert Lewin. So they came up probably another way, like they looked at old episodes and said, "How can we do it newer, or different?" But but it seemed to me like it was also like somebody had that like Twilight Zone idea because it was like oh, there's no way to get out of it, and then you just say, "I'll buy it." So it
yeah.
had a little bit of that little. I actually have a memory of watching this for the first time. I was at my parents' house in their living room watching the episode on a wooden and glass TV.
Mm-hmm. I remember those.
And
I had several of those.
yeah, I have a couple of them now. I collect weird stuff, and I send you pictures of weird old TVs, don't I?
Yes, all the time.
All the time. But I remember laughing at the good ship lollipop line.
Yes.
And I remember being like, wow, that's a great way to get out of it. Just buy it. I was like, I don't know, what was this, 88? So I was 13. But
Yeah.
it kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, I can
But,
hear.
you know,
I can understand.
watching it now, not so much.
Yeah, so it's just like like you said, it's like rehashing themes that we've seen done better on the original series. Not only that, if you're going to rehash themes from the original series, we already saw that you don't do it well because the Naked Now was an abomination right out of the gate
Yeah.
because you didn't know the characters well enough to be feeling for them when they're so out of sorts, like you did in the original series. By the
Yeah, it would
time
have been
Naked
much
Time came
better
out.
like at episode 20.
Yeah, exactly. I know we discussed that when it was on, but
Yeah.
again, if you're going to go back to the well of the original series to get quote Star Trek themes or Star Trek ideas, why go to one of the most iconic episodes and then do it poorly again? Because Wyndham, I think William Wyndham, who plays Decker
Wesley
in
Wyndham Price.
but he's William Wyndham is how he's
Okay. Yeah.
credited, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the most amazing performances in Star Trek, bar none. I mean, just the scenes between him and Kirk, it's like the battle of who can do it worse. I love it. I love it so much. It is such an amazing episode for that, for the guest cast, for the idea of, this doomsday weapon that is just proliferated beyond anything that they could control, and it's the ultimate nightmare, right?
The ultimate
The
nightmare.
ultimate nightmare. Here we have this planet where obviously something like this happened because, hey, there's no life at all on the planet. So apparently, like, these pew pew robots can kill microbes. They kill all the insects. They kill all the birds. How are the plants still
They
alive?
leave the plants.
Yeah, exactly. How are the plant? I guess.
Well, they're still shooting at the plants. They're pretty tough plants because if you watch the episode, the plants are actually blocking whatever this weapon is because they
Right.
just hide behind a palm frond and they're fine.
I tell you, I think it's because they pull their punches on the plants because they're actually leasing all those plants from those and they don't want to lose their deposit.
They're leasing the greenery.
Right.
The greensman on set said, "Hey, you can't damage too many of them. You got one."
I guess. Yeah. And they made it a point to say that a lot of the technology on that planet was far beyond the Federation's capability at that point. So,
Yeah, with the tritanium melted.
right. So why not send a team of scientists down there to figure out, like, how does nobody know that this planet is like I'm trying to remember the circumstances under which the Drake
Graveyard.
went there. Were they exploring to see why this planet has gone dark, or
You have to fill in a lot between the lines, but I think that they were sent there to find out what's going on. Yeah, and they lost contact with them.
yeah, because you got to figure if the Minosians are so renowned, either you've had contact or at least you know something about them.
Well, that was the first thing that bummed me about the whole episode. If you rewatch the first scene where they're talking about what's going on, I think it was Riker or maybe Yar that says, "Well, we have to go down there to find out what's going on." Like there's no life, the ship is gone, the weapons are still on. We have to go down there. No, you don't.
I think you do because otherwise
There's
you
no
don't have-
episode.
Yeah, you don't have the episode, and it's a real bottle episode, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, just like the motivation, I didn't understand the motivation.
It's all over the map. I mean,
Yeah.
what this I think tried to do to fill in, because I think they knew what a weak freaking story they had. What just a thin like the thinnest thread of a plot that you could hang things off of.
It could have been good.
I think they tried to fill it in with character stuff so that you got to
Which
know
I
the
like.
characters. And I like the idea of that.
I like the Beverly and Picard thing. I like LaForge, being one of his first commands. I think second time we see him take command, right?
I don't recall. I think
season one. Might be the
it
first time.
for me it's like the first time every time with Jordy. So you can't go by me.
But those parts were good. But the main just avoiding
Yeah.
the egg,
Yeah,
not good.
I
That's where it
feel
fell
like
down.
the stuff that they get that I feel like you're maybe giving the short end of the egg to Yar because I think that Tasha was actually okay in this episode. I
Hmm.
think that she asserted herself as the security chief and they gave her at least some sense of authority and purpose.
Hmm.
And then it just turned into the pew pew fest. But she's like telling Picard how it's going to go. We're going to
Right.
go down. We're going to do this. You're staying here. You know, it's like we're going to handle it this way. Okay,
Right.
if that's what you're saying, that's who you need. Okay,
Hmm.
go down and report back.
Hmm.
So I like that aspect of it. We don't get to see Yar do a lot besides stand behind the horseshoe until she does.
I wonder, was this something like they were hearing her complaining about not doing enough, and they gave her something?
I mean, it could be.
Denise.
I think in as much as they're giving anybody anything, it's
Hmm.
always going to be the Picard Riker data show, right?
Hmm.
So I think that it's good that they will sometimes find a way to write Yar in. We only got our very first Worf episode last time out.
Yeah,
So at
and
least
Worf is
she's been
a little.
featured more than Michael has at this point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
But everybody is the hero of their own story. So,
I guess. I mean,
and you know,
yours
me,
has
I
the
just know I'm an NPC either way, so it doesn't bother me much. Worf had some stuff to do in this, and when Geordi and Worf teamed up, and they teamed up looking for science stuff a few episodes ago. I don't know, remember which one.
science stuff with
Oh, it was the one with the ugly
okay.
bags of mostly water.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, that
Home
was good.
soil. It was in home soil.
Yeah, but of course, my favorite part of this episode, or I don't want to spoil that for later. So, a part I liked in this episode was Beverly thinking she was going to die, being delirious, and almost saying something to the clueless Picard.
Okay, now as you said when we first started the show, when you remembered this show, you remembered it more fondly. You remembered it as better than it was. I've
Yes.
seen this episode before,
Hmm.
and I recalled really liking the part in the cave with Beverly and Jean Luc. And then I was watching this and I'm like, am I thinking of a different episode? Is there another episode where he's got to chew up the root and heal Beverly's leg and because everything about that interaction completely failed to resonate with me this time.
Hmm.
And maybe it's because I thought or I had misremembered what I thought I had seen. So
Hmm.
I came at it with some kind of expectation. But besides that, that all being said, and okay, but it's beside the point. I think it's just objectively not very good. So,
Hmm.
what part of this Picard Crusher thing did you latch onto? Because all I got was her giving a backstory about her grandma.
Well, I like that too because I like Sub Rosa. So, but I like their whole story arc and their love and their connection. So I'm probably putting a lot more into it than they were giving. But I have to say, Beverly being in that let's just say Gates was doing a lot of acting that might not have been in the script. It could have been in the script. I've never read the script, but she was putting a lot into what she had. She was making the most of her minutes in the episode. Being like delirious, there's like looks that she gave where she realized she wasn't going to make it, and then there was the thing about telling Picard something, but she didn't because he found the button. I don't know.
I would have to
They
rewatch.
just give us little crumbs, and I love these crumbs because it's all I get, And of course, later on we see what happened, but we only hear what happened really.
This could be a Chris problem. Full disclosure.
Okay.
I watched half of this episode last night and I couldn't make it through.
Hmm.
And then it was like dead at work today, so I loaded up old P Plus on my phone and I watched the remainder of it, which had most of that Picard Crusher
Hmm.
stuff, on my little screen in my office, waiting for a patient to walk in. So
Hmm.
I might not have been as focused
Okay.
as the episode deserved, or as our I'm sorry, as our viewers and listeners deserve. maybe I could have invested a little. Oh no, no, not this episode. No, I didn't need to invest.
It might be the size of the screen too. Maybe those actions are just little and tiny. What she was doing, because she's some stage actors trained, I think, as most of them are on next gen.
Listen,
But she was doing it for the small screen, I think, and it read on my big screen really well.
right. So yeah, you might have something there
And
because maybe
yeah,
that's the missing element that I noticed the first time that I didn't see
okay,
this time.
yeah.
Could be.
But I'm also very invested in their relationship. Like anytime there's a book on their relationship, I'll read it. That kind of thing.
Understood. Understood.
Yeah, I watch Star Trek for the romance.
You're hopeless.
Read the magazines for the articles.
Right. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Less pew
Just ask
pews,
just ask
more
my
hearty
ass
eyes.
key.
Oh, this Logan guy.
Logan. Oh, I love Mr. Logan
Chief,
here.
they just made
Chief
Chief
Logan.
Engineer of the Week back then.
I mean,
How do
yeah,
you
I
get
mean,
Chief Engineer a new one every week?
it's just this is again where you can tell like 17 different people were breaking 17 different stories and nobody was talking to one another.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Logan, you have what's it, McScrooge, McDuck,
McDuck,
yeah, McDuck,
McDuffie,
yeah,
Mick.
Duffy,
No,
Patrick
we'll
Duffy with
think
a
of it.
leg for a leg. We'll get back to him. Or is he gone already?
I think he's gone. I think
Oh,
we
he's
saw him for
gone
the last
already.
time.
Gotcha. I remember him putting lore back together. That's what I
Yeah.
recall. So I
Argyle.
Argyle, loving Argyle. Logan. Let's go with Logan here.
Logan. Better
Comes up.
movie than Chief Engineer. Just going to say it.
What
Better movie than Chief Engineer.
better movie? You mean like Logan's
Logan.
Run?
No, Logan. No, Logan movie. I think it was a Wolverine movie, right? You ever see that one? Got
Yes,
Patrick Stewart
yes,
in it.
yes. I do recall that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
I didn't cop to it. But I thought the actor was fine. The fact that they wrote
He's
him as
aight.
kind of a jerk is just for the sake of like introducing needless drama. Like, why would he be arguing with Geordi about what to do if Geordi was left in charge? I should be in charge. I outrank you. Blah blah. And Geordi, I like the fact that Geordi stands up to him.
Yeah.
So at this point, what is Geordi's? Do we still have any idea, or yet have any idea, what Geordi's actual job on the ship is besides navigation? Sometimes navigation,
I
which
would
I
say
think.
just that would be his job, probably, because the whole thing was the blind man driving the ship.
Right, right, right. So the guy who can't see is always the guy that's telling us where to go.
Yeah, but it seemed very unmotivated. Logan calling up to the bridge, going, "I need to know whether we're going to leave or not." And it's like, no, you're the chief engineer. You need to make sure everything's working to the best of your ability at all times.
Yeah, exactly. And roll with what I tell you to roll
Exactly.
with. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. He was acting almost like he had web fingers,
I maybe and it's Jordy stepped to
and
him,
they just
so
didn't show it.
he kind of backed down. But
I don't know.
that,
So how does rank work in Starfleet? Because he outranks him, so he can't just take over if he wants to.
I guess unless you're an admiral or a badmiral, you
Yeah,
can
then
do
you
that.
can.
Just like the aforementioned Decker
Yep.
in Doomsday Machine, he did
Yep.
that.
Hmm.
But I really don't know how it works. I guess if they leave you in charge, you're in charge until that person is either dead or comes back to relieve you and take command back. So I remember there was a book in the Star Trek series, one of the last one, I think it's number 50 or 51. It was called Doctor's Orders by Diane, I believe it was one of Diane Duane's,
Okay.
where they're just like in this it's like a celebratory event. It's like a parade or a starship thing, like an anniversary. And Kirk leaves the bridge, and he just on a whim he says, Bones, you have the con." And they leave Bones in charge, and all of a sudden some crap goes down, and Bones is like, "Spock, you have to take command." And Spock's like, "I can't. Kirk left you in command. We have to follow your orders because until he gets..." Anyway, if I'm recalling right, I read the book 4,565 years ago. But there's precedent, I
Yeah.
guess. Maybe someone with an actual military background can tell us how that works. Tell us down below in the chat what the protocol is with that stuff, because it does seem weird. But then It kind of makes sense because if the captain wants to leave somebody in charge and then just some random douche comes up and says, "Well, I outrank you. I take command now."
Right.
That can't be right. Like
There
that
would
can't
have
be
to be a
permissible.
definitely defendable reason.
Right, like Geordi is going to get us all killed or
Yeah.
whatever.
Then you'd have to go to the whoever the I guess Lieutenant Solar, Doctor Solar, and get him medically discharged or something.
I guess. This is another part where it might have been compelling, but the lazy writing comes through, as I was talking about in the synopsis. First, Logan is like, "You have to break orbit or we're all going to be destroyed." And then Geordi's like, "No." And then Geordi's like, "Wait a minute. I think I will break orbit." And he's like, "No, you can't break orbit. You're going to leave them down there?" And it's like, "What? And this is like in the same scene.
Hmm.
Like, so it's lazy. It's
Hmm.
just, again, inserting conflict.
Hmm.
For the people listening on the podcast, I'm doing my air quotes. Conflict for the sake of
Yeah,
conflict.
drama for the sake of drama.
And that was another thing we haven't discussed yet. There was a heart to heart. It was a very special moment
Hmm.
between Jordy and Deanna. I have no idea what Deanna was talking about in that scene. Up until that moment, Jordy seemed fine. He seemed
Hmm.
confident. He seemed like he had it under control. He's stepping to Logan. He's just like, "We're going to do it my way." Then he goes into the ready room because he knows he's got to warp away and leave the captain.
Hmm.
And Deanna's like, "They follow your lead. You have to project confidence." It's just like, and he's just like, "Yeah, I know." What has he been doing up until this point? He's been uber competent.
Well, there's that one act out thing where he calls Logan to the bridge, like to fake him giving him command.
I get, but that was after this that was after this heart to heart.
Hmm.
The way I'm looking at it, frankly, like they just needed a scene to fill some time because this
Yeah.
was a weak script. And they said, "Okay, what does Deanna do? She counsels the crew. So we might as well have just some sort of perfunctory counseling session to highlight Geordie's journey, Geordie's arc in this story." But I didn't see any apparent arc. So
Almost like they had the idea to write the scene later, but they didn't. So they used the placeholder, if that makes sense.
yeah, they used the placeholder, and then the editors put it in the wrong spot.
Something, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. And what was weird about Deanna in this episode is they had her reaction shot, but it was like if the editor used the reaction shot where she wasn't reacting, and she was just kind of like, and it was a good 5 seconds of her just like sitting there still. Like normally she's really good at going, feeling uneasy or looking around or, feeling some emotion or something, but nothing.
Yeah, it was just a failure from top to bottom. And the funny thing is, like, the stuff that I think we've gotten to see from Beverly and from Deanna and from Jordy and the entire ensemble has been, up until this point, really pretty good. I
Hmm.
mean, I never thought upon rewatching Next Gen that Deanna would be one of my favorite characters. She was just
Hmm.
there. And season one has made her like one of my top favorite characters. Like, I just think that she's good presence on screen. I like mainly the way she's written a lot of the time.
Hmm.
It's just, I don't know. Whoever was writing this one didn't really know, except for maybe what the Bible said about Deanna. She's the goddess of empathy.
The goddess of empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was watching this, I think I was misremembering this and confusing it with Sex Trek: The Next Generation. Because I was like, oh yeah, Deanna's coming in and Jordy's in the ready room, and I was like, oh wait, that's not this
You're
thing.
sharing too much tonight, man.
But for some reason, I was like, is there chemistry there? I don't know.
I haven't seen that. I'll have to get back
No,
to
it's
you. I'll have to
good.
get back to you on that.
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
It's got a good story. I think there's a cut on YouTube or somewhere where they take all the adult content out and they just have the story, and it's pretty good.
So then it's just like a fan film, and Paramount's going to sue him.
It was but it says parody in the title, I think. Now I don't know how that works.
So
but there was something there, but I don't know what. I found it interesting that there was that thing in Picard's room that looked like a sphere with all the gears in it and stuff, and I had never seen it before or after that. So I don't know if once Picard was down on planet Geordi was like already rearranging the office or something.
that was actually Geordie's.
Yeah,
it,
he
it
brought
helps
that
me.
up. He sent Logan down to get it and put it in the
Right.
ready room or something like that.
Yeah, at this point, he's not even an engineer yet, but maybe that's what inspires him to become an engineer.
Yeah. Well, I have a headcanon about this episode in Logan because, Logan was, not nice to Geordi and just not nice in general. And it doesn't seem like somebody that would fit in with the Enterprise. So I think once Picard comes back up and Geordi puts the ship back together, he just goes to Picard and goes, "Look, this Logan guy, he's a dick. You gotta get rid of
I
him."
was gonna say, I mean, you say he doesn't seem like he belongs on the Enterprise, and I know the great Roddenberry mantra from on high: no
Yeah.
conflict between our characters, humanity's evolved beyond that. But no matter where you go, no matter how good the situation, there's always one asshole. There's just
Yeah.
always an asshole, and
Uh,
this
well,
time it just happened to be Logan.
I think both of us have hired and fired people a bunch in our lifetimes, and I always just got rid of people that just weren't chill. If they were assholes, I just got rid of them.
Not just get rid of you, don't do your job.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
well
you can
that
be an
too,
asshole, but
that too. Well, see, everybody has different tolerances, but
as long as you're not,
you got to spend 40, 50 hours a week somewhere. You don't want people that are jerks and
I
trying
mean,
to
I'd
get you
rather
to
I'd,
warp out of orbit right now or not.
I'd rather a competent asshole than someone that didn't do their job. I'll just say it that.
Okay,
Because the competent asshole gives you peace of mind.
I don't know. Dancing
Now,
skills help.
again, whoever would have thought a sentence like that would come out of anybody's head ever? At least the competent asshole gives you peace of mind. Okay. I can constantly surprise myself on Treksploration. It's an inner Treksploration for me.
Exploration. Is that a good place to pause for our break?
Yeah, the competent assholes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what they call us. So we'll be talking more about Star Trek: The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 21, The Arsenal of Freedom. And also, we got things coming up like Trek and Tell. It's like a show and tell, but we show off some Star Trek stuff. And then we got some trivia coming up, so you can play along. Who's asking who in this episode?
I'm asking you. You asked me last time during Where No Man
All
Has Gone
right, I'm
Before.
excited. I'm
Yep, yep, yep.
excited. Okay, so we got a lot more to come. So we'll be right back with Arsenal of Freedom. All right, give me 2 minutes and I'll be right back. You can
got
you
it.
can get a drink or you can vamp, whatever you'd like to do. I'll be back in two.
2 for Albie. Uh-oh. He's muted everything. That means, you know what that means. It's going to be loud. He's going back to watch Sex Trek, the next insertion or whatever it is that he was watching. I guess we're still live on YouTube, so I don't want to just leave a blank screen. So, hey, let's vamp. We have our listener slash viewer AV. There it is, AV, and they write they should have just run some extra commercials on this show to get rid of some of these horrible scenes, or just a random scene of Shatner speaking Esperanto for a few minutes. I like that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that William Shatner Esperanto movie. I think it's called Incubus. I saw it. It was on Turner Classic Movie, and I watched it from beginning to end, and it was fantastic. If you haven't seen that movie, just do yourself a favor, give yourself a treat. Watch William Shatner act his balls off in Incubus, speaking a language that you have no idea what he's talking about. This was the language that was supposed to be so simple that it was going to be universal. It was going to combine every language on the planet and have touchstones for everybody so that everybody could speak to everybody. It was like, before the Tower of Babel or Babel, Journey to Babel. And I, I'm listening to this movie for an hour and a half, and I'm just like, I still have no clue as to what they might be saying. Thank God for subtitles. But in Incubus's defense, I am also really bad at languages. Like I could be actually a perfect example. I've worked in a predominantly Spanish speaking environment for the last several years, and I know enough to get by for the things that I need to do my job. Meanwhile, the guy next to me, my coworker, just fluent in Spanish now. He can just speak to everybody about everything. They're joking, they're laughing, and I'm just like, can you ask them this for me? Can you ask them that for me? Did they get that MRI? Can you just let me know what's going on with that? Um, so it might not be Esperanto's fault. It might be a Chris thing. I don't know. I don't know. So, but if you haven't seen it, I'm sure it's available on demand somewhere. It's probably on that Internet Archive where I've seen some other stuff. We used to get stuff from there for the Leaps Elsewhere shows that we did on the Quantum Leap podcast. Speaking of Quantum Leap podcast, I'm wearing a little Quantum Leap lapel pin. It's for the new Quantum Leap that Albie got me at the Quantum Leap event during the NBC premiere week. They were doing some stuff in LA, and Albie was out there with, I believe, with Juan. And Juan from Thinking Outside the Long Box. If you don't know about that, you should go to thinkingoutsidethelongbox.com, I think is their site, or just search for it. And he got this cool Quantum Leap pin for me. So I was going to wear my Star Trek Delta again, but I'm thinking about this, maybe to jazz it up for every series just so people can have a visual cue. I already have the original series mission patch that I wear when we do original series episodes, or I have worn for them. Maybe I'll get like a TNG one and the DS9 one, which you can also use for Voyager, I suppose. And that way, if we're doing a show about Voyager, I'll have the Voyager one on. If we're doing a TNG episode, I'll have the TNG comm badge on. What do you think, Albie? Should I change up my comm badges?
Com badge, that's a good idea.
So
I was thinking you were talking about full uniforms. I was all for it. I was like, let's do it.
the only thing that when we have Enterprise, I guess I'd have to get the pips or something because they don't have they don't
square
have
pips?
the mission patch, or I'd have to get it on my sleeve. I'd have to get it.
Yeah, or just go ahead and pull the trigger on that link I sent you. The whole uniform.
Yeah. No, I've been looking it up. I'm seriously thinking about it.
Yeah, I was trying to get Chris to save this for the show. No, this is an end more. How about that? I was
Okay.
trying to get Chris to and me and Serenity to all be in Enterprise uniform when we went to go meet Scott Bakula. And I got a lot of no's from everywhere.
I got to be honest with you. I mean, I would love to in a more appropriate setting, but I'm not going to go see the Connector. And although
was
I think it would have been a more
Man, La
appropriate.
Mancha.
La Mancha might have been, yeah,
Yeah.
that might have been pretty cool.
One of the
but-
3 nights we went in uniform.
But again, I can't imagine. Like you see Scott, and it's just like he's such a great guy, and he's so generous with his time. But don't you think if he walks out, like he's doing so much other stuff now? That's 30 years ago all this happened, and I'm sure he loves the fans and everything. But could you imagine like acting your ass off as Don Quixote de la Mancha, and you come out and you just got a reject like me standing there in a Captain Archer uniform going, it's just like, I
but
think he
he
would just like to
knows-
flee. He would just flee from the room.
He knows why we're all there. Either it's Star Trek or Quantum Leap. And that's the weirdest thing, because like when I meet him in person, I'm like, oh, it's Scott Bakula from Quantum Leap. It's Sam Beckett. And then like on the way home, I'm like, oh, it was Captain Archer too. It's so weird. Because I always wanted to meet Captain Archer, but I keep meeting Sam Beckett, you know?
That's true. I keep meeting Scott.
Yeah.
He's always delightful. But the thing is, it's like, he's already good at convincing me that he actually gives a shit that we're there and that he likes to see us. I mean, he's so gracious that way.
He remembers
so
us
imagine how much it would have to strain anybody's credulity for him to come out and see me in that uniform and still pull that trick off.
What I should have done is got the uniform for Serenity because he would think it was cute.
Right. For a kid, then yeah, you can do it.
But for us, not so much.
Yeah, I'm like a 55-year-old dude in a Captain Archer uniform. He'd be like, get a life. Anyway.
Speaking of. And we're back! Welcome back to Treksploration. And we're talking about we're talking about Star Trek Next Generation. Season 1, episode 21. We are closing in on the season finale of Star Trek Next Generation, The Arsenal of Freedom. So that captain's table's coming up, so we'll see Captain Charles soon, I think.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
We'll be talking all about season 1 of Star Trek The Next Generation.
Season 1. Treksploration. Is there any thing in this episode that we haven't explored
Let me look at my notes.
that you would like to explore? Because for me, there's one last thing that I thought was neat, but I don't know if we ever see it again. Geordi is ready to beam the landing party back up. I keep calling it, I know it's called the away team now, but the landing party.
Both are appropriate. I like both.
And before he can do it, the shields just snap on of their own accord. No red alert sirens, no klaxons, no warning from Worf. Just
You think they would, though, right?
the shields just snap up because they apparently sense the danger of that probe. The probe that they can't lock onto, the probe that is...
They can't see.
Yeah, they can't see, but all of a sudden the shields just automatically snap up, but we still can't get a lock on it or fire on the damn thing. So, what would have happened if they were in the middle of beaming up the landing party and then the shield snapped up of their own accord in the middle of the matter stream? Would it be a Sonac situation?
Yep, TMP.
Right.
Yeah, it should, right? You would think by now, because like even now, so many things are automatic. You would think automatic shields and stuff. I liked it, and it should go on from now on, but it didn't. Like I
I
still
didn't.
don't think it happens anymore. I think
I
that was
didn't.
a
I didn't like it
one and
at
done.
all. Yeah, I didn't like it at all,
You
and
didn't
I'm
like
glad
it?
it's on because it does make sense. Again, for the very reason I just said, I didn't think about it until now. But if you're in the middle of beaming somebody up and the shields just happen to say, "Hey, there's some kind of danger," snap it on. All of a
I,
sudden, you're screwed. Like you're killing the people that you're transporting.
my thought would be, and I'm just thinking this out loud right now, is if that was a system, that the shields would protect whatever side of the ship that the threat was on while they were still beaming on through the beam on the other side or something.
Does beaming work? I guess beam is right in the name. Maybe it does work
Yeah.
that way. I don't
You
know.
know, so maybe the whole like antenna for the beam is like on the whole dish. I don't know how that works. But I don't know. I kind of liked it, and I noticed it was odd and different. So maybe they were just trying something and they didn't like it.
Well, yeah, and again, maybe it was just a misguided thing. Maybe somebody it got through the script process, and then somebody actually thought about it and said,
Well,
"Doesn't
it'll make
work."
a lot less dialogue and drama if everything's automatic.
Yeah, that
But
too.
while I was watching it, I was thinking eventually starships. Yeah, it's weird that we both picked up on it, but I was thinking eventually starships will be mostly automatic, and people it'll be like Spock's brain. They won't know how to work anything.
I suppose, and
I
I
mean,
think
we're
that
already
was
getting there as a society.
wasn't that one of Roddenberry's original thoughts for the Enterprise? They would just be sitting in this cavernous space that was smooth walls, and because the ship would just do everything for you, like you wouldn't even have to have an interface.
Yeah, that would be more accurate probably by then.
Yeah, but again, it's not very visually interesting,
not
is it?
not very good show.
No,
You know.
no.
Um, uh, the only thing I didn't mention that I wrote down was uh, I was thinking Geordie's in charge of the bridge, and then Picard and Beverly are talking about routes. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Ah,
Kutakite. Yeah.
wow! I didn't even think of that. I'm questioning whether or not Riker would actually know. By that time, has to be an obscure Shirley Temple song from the 1930s.
He does like 20th century references.
Well, here's the thing: the only
Hmm.
reason you and I know "Good Ship Lollipop" is not
Hmm.
because of Shirley Temple. We know it because Cindy Brady sung it on the Brady Bunch a
That's
million
true.
times while we were growing up, and that's how
Right.
we know it. And then maybe we might have seen some stock footage of
Yeah.
Shirley Temple singing it. So I'd say, "Oh, that's the song that Cindy Brady
Yep.
sings."
That's exactly what happened in my brain.
Right. And Picard does not, or Riker does not have even that frame of reference to go on. So how is the Good Ship Lollipop? Maybe it turned into like a cult classic.
Maybe that's just what's on his playlist.
Right? Can you play that on the trombone? Is that a Dixieland lollipop? Or no, he likes jazz, not
He
Dixieland.
jazz,
Jellicoe
not
likes
Dixieland. Yeah.
Dixieland. Right.
Can't dance to it, but you can. And speaking of, we know a Cindy Brady, don't we? I think so. Okay.
We
Long
do?
story.
Okay.
Yeah, a Cindy Brady, not the Cindy Brady.
Susan McCormick? No, that's Maureen McCormick. Susan
Maureen
Olsen
McCormick.
was
Susan
Cindy
Olsen.
Brady.
But we know a different one. We know the one from the Christmas episode. She was on first episode of Quantum Leap. We talked to her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's cool.
And her name is Cindy Brady? I'm confused.
She played a Cindy Brady.
Oh, she played a Cindy Brady.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
you're
they couldn't get
talking,
the Cindy Brady.
you're talking about Peg.
Meg.
Meg.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Why am I blanking on her name? She's such a
Oh,
nice lady.
she is such a nice lady. She did so much for us.
Anyway, go to quantumleappodcast.com to see that.
And the interview of her is up there.
Yes.
So yeah, before we do final thoughts and ratings, what else do we have to do?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to Vincent Schiavelli. I know that I said it's that guy, that weird guy that was in all the stuff in the 70s
Oh yeah.
and 80s on TV, but
What was he in? Remind me. What I'm thinking like
the thing,
Barney Miller. He had to be in Barney
yeah, he
Miller,
had to
right?
do a bunch of like weird
Oh,
character
you know
bits in
what? I'm
Barney
gonna look it
Miller.
up.
The thing that I remember him most from at the moment was, if you recall, Elise Beasley on Moonlighting.
Oh,
She was the
absolutely.
weird
I
secretary.
loved her.
He played her eventual husband on that show, and they were
Oh,
in fact
that tracks.
married in real life.
Really?
Yes. So
Wow.
I remember him.
One flew over the cuckoo's nest,
Yep,
apparently.
he was in Cuckoo's Nest,
Tomorrow Never
and
Dies, Ghost.
he's in a ton of stuff. He was the subway ghost in Ghost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he
was
was the
like
one
in
that
everything.
saw Patrick Swayze, and I remember him
Fast Times at Ridgemont
specifically.
High, Buckaroo Banzai.
Skip Morton, who I used
Yeah.
to do the podcast with, loved
Hashtag
Vincent
Skiptopher.
Schiavelli. He came up on something that we watched, and he's like, "That's Vincent Schiavelli." He loved Vincent Schiavelli, so I just want to give Vincent Schiavelli his props. I mean, of getting
That's
like
to Smoochie.
notable character actor to do such a thankless role. You had
Man on the
Vincent
Moon.
Schiavelli, and that's what you gave him.
Man on the Moon. Who is he in Man on the Moon?
I didn't want. I don't like Andy Kaufman, and I'm not a fan of Jim Carrey, so I didn't really watch Man on the Moon. I watched it for about 20 minutes, and then
I have the
decided to
35
go.
millimeter print trailer.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it until Mary Lou Henner wasn't on it anymore, and then
Buffy, Mary Lou Henner. Wow. Johnny Dangerously. Worth the watch.
Taxi.
A Taxi. X-Files. He was on X-Files. Oh, so many. Yeah, he's that guy in everything.
He's that guy in everything. Yeah,
Wow.
So-
Like his IMDb is ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. But is he still with us?
No, we lost him in 2005.
The late great Vincent Schiavelli.
Sad face. But yeah, he was great in everything. But I remember popping as a kid seeing him because he was the guy from everything.
Yep.
Yep.
That guy from that thing.
Yeah, the peddler. Where does the word peddler comes from? What's the etymology of that?
I
Is it
got
like did they used to peddle carts to sell things? But then I was thinking bicycles are a relatively new invention this time around.
I'm not really sure. I mean, they have bicycles
this.
in Asian countries like China, and
Yeah.
like, they had bicycles for centuries. So
Oh,
I'm not
really? So
sure.
maybe that's where peddler came from?
I think peddler. I don't know. Let's look it up. I don't have my phone. You have to look it up.
Oh, peddler.
You have to. This is going to be the new feature here. It's vocabulary corner or etymology corner. We'll call it etymology corner or entomology. Etymology is bugs. Entomology is words.
Yeah, and then there's bug words, which is entomology.
So
A peddler is a person, but where does it come from? Definition of meaning.
I should have my dictionary. I have a Webster's dictionary around here somewhere.
There you go. Peddlers played a role in distributing goods in areas where established retail wasn't readily available.
Right. So they would travel. They were itinerant.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Door
it
to
would
door
say
traveling vendors that had
you-
goods.
peddle your wares.
Yeah, it's
and
from the
usually-
19th century word drummer.
Okay. So there we go.
Interesting. You ever went to Peddler's Village in Jersey?
No, I didn't even know there was a peddler's village.
Yeah, it's a place I used to hang out as a kid.
I feel like we're saying peddler so much it's starting to lose its all meaning.
Yeah, they had great pizza there. I don't know if they
At
still do.
Peddler's Village. All right. Well, hey, if anybody is from Jersey and you know the pizza from Peddler's Village, back
Yeah.
Albie up. Send some pizza to P.O. Box 542, Bayport, New York, 11705. Not any pizza. Special Peddler's Village pizza.
Yeah.
And wrap it so that once I get it, I can rewrap it and send it to Albie so it'll be
I'll take
edible
it.
by the time he gets it in Florida.
Yeah, it's pizza. Did I ever tell you? Yeah, I must have told you I dumped a girlfriend because she didn't refrigerate her pizza, right?
No, I have never heard that.
So I order pizza. We're on a date, right? I'm at her house. I order pizza, 2 different pizzas because, look at me. One for me and one for both of us. And right. And like we get done and there's some extra pizza left. And she just sets it in the oven. And I said, you want me to put it in the fridge for you? So you can have it tomorrow? She's like, no, it'll be fine tomorrow. I'll just keep it in the oven. I was like,
Was it in the oven in the closed pizza box?
yes.
That's fine.
I was like, you are aware of the danger zone, right? 40 to 140 Fahrenheit. And if it's in those temperatures, microbes, bacteria can grow and make you sick. And she's like, if it's pizza, it's all right. And I was like, so you can put any food on a round piece of bread and you don't need a refrigerator. And it just freaked me out.
I'm on team. I'm on team girlfriend you dumped.
Really? So
I don't
as
know.
long as you put it on a piece of bread,
Yep.
it'll stay good.
Yeah, that's why I just have sandwiches like weeks later, especially tuna fish. Yeah.
I just didn't understand. I just didn't
No,
understand.
I mean, that's a weird reason to dump somebody, though.
Well, people made fun of me that I was like Seinfeld because I always found a reason.
Gotcha.
So But that was a pretty big reason. I was like, she doesn't refrigerate her food.
I'm also not that huge a fan of cold pizza, so that could be me. I know a
Maybe,
lot
but
of people say next day it's even better when it's cold out of the fridge. I never subscribe to that.
I eat a cold slice while I'm heating up the other slices that I have for breakfast.
Gotcha. Now, where do
So
you stand on reheating through microwave?
not my favorite. I'll do it in a pinch, but I really like the air fryer for reheating pizza slices.
See, what I'll do to reheat pizza
Hmm.
is I'll put it on a baking sheet and I'll do like a low and slow,
Hmm.
and then I'll walk the dog. So I'll put like on 225, and by the time I get
Ooh.
done walking Penelope, I come back, the pizza's just about ready. It's a little cool in the middle.
Hmm.
Or this is a trick that my sister taught me.
Hmm.
You can put one piece, like a slice, in like a skillet on the stove top, and then you just sort of move it around the skillet over the heat, and it makes it like even and crispy. Like the crust is just like crispier than the day before when you got the pizza from the pizza place.
That sounds
And
good.
I found that that's a very good way to do it. So, and you can even take like a pot lid and put it on top if you want to melt the top a little bit more. But it keeps the crust nice and crispy that way.
That's good. Do you have an
So
air fryer?
I do not have an air fryer. It's
Oh.
funny because my coffee machine, which we got recently, relatively recently, is
Hmm.
called a Ninja. We got
Hmm.
it at Target. And then I just saw this thing on TV the other day. It was for an air fryer, a Ninja air fryer.
Mm.
And I've never seen like how an air fryer actually works. I've heard of them, but I didn't know what it was.
Hmm.
And then I saw this thing on the commercial. I said, "Well, maybe we should get one of those." And I said, "You know, you'll never use it. You know, it'll just sit in the in the cabinet, and it'll just eventually you'll give it away at a garage sale, or you'll just throw it away. So
I
don't go
use
out
it
and
so
buy it,
much.
idiot."
I use it so much for everything. Most of those countertop things you don't use, like the waffle maker, the muffin maker, the this, that.
I'll use the waffle maker more.
Panini
I still have my waffle maker. I have a panini brick. So I took a brick from the backyard. I wrapped
Okay.
it in heavy duty aluminum
foil.
foil.
Okay.
And when I don't think that the brick is heavy enough, I'll take the 4 cup Pyrex thingy. I'll
Hmm.
fill that with water and I'll put that on top of the brick.
A pint's a pound the world around.
There you go. And yes, what you said. You must have been
Hmm.
watching that Star Trek After Dark movie again.
Yeah, pizza 4 minutes at 400 in the air fryer comes out like perfect.
All right, anything's better than microwaving pizza.
Yeah, only when it's absolutely necessary.
Laura likes it that way, and I'm just like, "Are you kidding?" And I'm like, "It's half burnt, and then the crust gets like rubber, and it
Yeah,
gets
rubber.
progressively
Yeah,
harder to eat." And she's like, "No, I really love it this way." I'm like, "All
I
right."
have a Drew Barrymore air fryer because I like Drew Barrymore. So,
She's hawking air fryers now.
oh yeah, she's got a whole line. So I got the air fryer and I got the can opener, and the can opener is amazing.
Does she still have a talk show?
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
there you
and
go.
her dog's on it. You'd
So
probably like it.
she's a peddler with a talk show.
A peddler with a talk show.
She's this generation's Vincent Schiavelli.
Yeah, she was my lifelong crush because I think she's 6 months older than me. So
There you go.
she just celebrated her 50th birthday. So I should be 46, 7 soon.
Soon.
All right. So there was no 47 in this episode.
Only
But
you.
who was your episode crush?
I gotta think about that. I'm gonna go with Yar this time.
Okay.
What I
why?
got to see of Yar, I sort of liked. And I don't get to say that about Denise a lot, and it's not because of Denise, it's because of the way they write the character. So at least they gave her some kind of presence in this. How about you? Who was your episode crush?
For me, Yar had like she was wearing a lacy bra underneath her uniform, so it was all lumpy. Like her uniform was lumpy, so that bothered me.
Okay.
I probably would have dumped her too. My crush in this episode, what you got a lumpy outfit. My crush in this episode was Beverly. She's always my crush.
Yeah, I know.
And when she's delirious and injured, I figure I got a better chance. You know, she might fall for me
This
because
is
Picard, isn't picking up what she's
serious.
putting in down.
We can make you delirious, delirious.
So, yeah, Beverly in this episode.
Gotcha. So, what was your favorite part of the episode?
The Beverly and Picard stuff.
Oh, okay.
Closely followed by just Geordi, being featured. I like, they got this actor for a reason and they need to use him more. So hopefully they do in the future.
Okay.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was how they didn't even try with the set on the planet. Like they just didn't
It was
even make
bad.
any effort at all. I mean, it was so bad, it was sublime.
I'm hoping at some point they can remaster that and make it look realistic.
I don't want it to. No, I
No,
just
you wanna
want like
keep it like that?
the potted palms. I think they were even fake. I don't think they were real.
They were
And
fake.
and it literally was they just kept rearranging them around the same blue screen. It was just phenomenally bad.
Yeah, they had like one tractor trailer's worth of potted plants.
Yeah, exactly. And they just
And you
kept
never
on,
saw their feet because they were all in pots.
Uh-huh. So we're just gonna shuffle. We're just gonna shuffle these plants all around.
They were ducking behind them. Oh, one thing I noticed was we got the Data Stuntman from Encounter Farpoint back in this one.
Oh, really? I didn't notice, but I was probably on my teeny tiny screen. So.
Oh, that's why. But he when they were jumping off the rock down lower behind a potted plant to protect them from this weapon that killed everybody and everything. Yeah, it was bad Data Stuntman with a bad Data wig and bad Data makeup.
Is there such a thing as a bad Data stuntman? The bad Data wig. Hey, do we are we taking calls or is it a little too long? We're already a minute. We're already an hour 30 here.
It depends on if you got to work tomorrow.
I always have to work tomorrow. You know that. That's
Okay,
a silly
so
question.
how about let's see, we'll do trivia and some Trek and Tell and get out of here. Final thoughts.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like a
Yeah,
plan. to me.
just I don't want to keep you too late because I want you to come back every week.
Yeah, no, I'll be coming back. You don't worry about
good,
that.
good.
You keep talking about Star Trek porn, I'll come back.
Well, we can cover that in an end more. We can do a watch
And
along.
more. I don't
An
think
awkward watch along.
so. Yeah. No.
Me and Hayden always talked about doing Quantum Deep, like a
Yeah.
watch along, but we figured we'd lose a lot of
We joked
subscribers.
We joked about that on when we were doing Leaps Elsewhere. I said,
Yeah.
hey, we should watch Quantum Deep. And Allison said, Chris, I know you're joking, but there's absolutely no way I'm going to be watching a porn movie with you guys. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know, Allison.
That Hayden would, I would, and I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think that says it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, are you ready? Because I got you for 3 questions.
3 questions.
All right. This is going to be a hard one. I don't think that you're going to know what this
Okay,
one
and for
is.
the record, I'm not thinking to get the answer. I'm thinking so you have a chance to answer at home.
Okay.
It's like the Jeopardy music.
In the movie The Wrath of Khan, Spock's body is launched to the Genesis planet in what?
A Mark IV torpedo tube.
Oh, so close.
Mark III? Mark
Keep going.
V.
There are plenty more numbers. Keep going.
Mark 7. 6.
Mark 6. Mark 6. Photon torpedo.
Mark 6. Mark 6. And ye of the earth said unto thee
It's my favorite parable.
that
Mark
no
6.
one shall eat bread before swimming.
Right. Mark 6. Spock died. Jesus wept.
Yep.
All right. Though seemingly an adolescent, how old is Miri by the time the crew of the Enterprise encounters her in the original series episode, Miri?
I'm going to say 19 because 19. 16.
So, though seemingly
Oh,
an
an
adolescent.
adolescent. Oh, she's like 200 then, right?
300.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I forgot.
You get that one, but it's going to have an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Good
Here we
episode.
go. In which series did Dwight Schultz appear in more episodes as Lieutenant Reginald Barclay? Star Trek The Next Generation or Star Trek Voyager? That's a good one.
Voyager. I'm going to say Voyager.
You think he was in Voyager more?
I can think of probably 6. Does he count when he's a spider? Does it count when he's a spider?
Does First Contact count?
I would say even if I had to guess, but I'm thinking why would the question exist if it wasn't Voyager?
All right. That's probably a good log. Voyager, 7 episodes versus 5 episodes of Next Gen.
So 6 on average, yeah.
So 6 if you count, again, the fact that he was in First Contact.
Yeah, I really like Barkley in Voyager, and Deanna's in 1 or 2 of them, I think.
I think in a couple, yeah.
Yeah.
With Barclay.
I'm kind of, it's kind of sad because you're thinking like they're not trusting Voyager and they're just trying to get, some next gen in there, kind of like they did with the Enterprise at the end.
Yeah.
But it all tracks and it makes sense, and he just happens to be the one in charge of getting Voyager home.
Okay.
Yeah.
If that's
Hopefully he does it. So I got
hopefully, yeah.
maybe one and a half right, two
We'll
right.
see how they make it.
I
We'll
don't
see
know
how they
what I
make
got.
it. Yeah, we'll say 1.5.
Okay, one and a half. I'll take it.
One
How
and a
did you
half.
do at home? Let us know down below. Did you know those
Yes,
things? Were you shouting at the screen? Am I an idiot? Let me know.
I think that you're kind of an idiot, but
Kind of, yeah.
in a lovable way.
But I'm endearing, right?
Right, right, right. Well, sometimes.
Sometimes. Wait up, Chris. All right, so let's do our final thoughts and ratings. I think
Oh,
I'll go
did
first.
you have a Trek and Tell?
Oh, did I? Yeah, of
Because I
course I
don't.
did. Um, Star Trek coffee. No. Um, I do have something. What did I have? Where did I put it?
I have the yawn.
I don't think I showed this yet. I'll just grab something at hand.
It
This
says
is written
classic
series. Oh,
Star
here.
Trek. Oh,
Excuse me.
wow.
See if I
The
get
USS Enterprise.
There you go. Hold it up to the microphone.
Damage report, Scotty? Spock here. Energize. This is Captain James Kirk of the USS Enterprise.
So what Albie is holding up and what those sound effects come from, it looks like an replica of an original series communicator. It looks like a pretty good one too. Is that like photo?
Yeah.
Is it like a realistic, almost like a prop, or is it more of a toy?
A little bit of both. There's the QR code if you want to find out more about it. Serenity got me this. I want to say for last Christmas.
Oh, that's nice.
It was at Target when we could shop there. So there you go.
Can't
It's
shop at
a
Target
communicator.
anymore. It's done.
No, I think they're on the banned list. But this one I got actually in Vegas when I went to Star Trek: The Experience. So this is my out of the box one.
Oh, I was going to say so, but it's the same one.
Similar. This one's more. I think this is fully metal, and this is more Playmates.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I haven't opened this one because I already had this one,
Well, that's
but I
really
wanted
cool.
this one. So, and this one makes sounds but no voices. It's just like woo 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 woo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my communicator.
Cool.
Yeah. Do you have a Trek and Tell, a book you can tell us about or something?
God, with relation to Arsenal of Freedom, yeah, I don't know. Do I have doctor's orders
Yeah.
up here?
I think I want to say I've seen that actor on the cover of a TNG novel book.
Which one are we talking about?
Huh? Oh, I don't think
Yeah, Vincent Schiavelli.
Yeah, him. So they must have done something with his character again. Maybe it was like, who knows what, something to look up on Memory Beta.
Yeah, it's probably just like a TNG novel then, right?
Yeah, but
So-
I wonder because the peddler, that'd be hard to search. No, I guess on Memory Beta, right?
I'm just looking around to see if there's anything
Anything
that I can
recently
just pull
that's
off my
interesting?
shelf miscellaneously, and I just don't see anything. So
Okay,
that's okay. I don't have to have a Trek and Tell every time.
not every time. Me, I didn't even prepare.
So
So, but that's something I have. Yeah,
Groovy.
Serenity buys me stuff with Star Trek. People that know me buy me stuff with Star Trek.
people that know
People
me
that
used to
don't
do
know
that.
me buy me stuff with Star Wars. But I don't hate Star Wars, so I enjoy it too.
I got too much of it. I told people you have to stop buying me Star Trek stuff. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, your place is nice, so you don't want too much stuff.
Your place is nice too, I'm sure.
Oh, thank you. It's just got too much stuff.
All right, give me your final thoughts, or do you want me to give you my final thoughts? How do you
I'll
want to
go
do
first because I think you could probably summarize your thoughts better than I can on this episode. It was alright, but not great, and I won't skip it. I think there were moments, and I think the idea in general was good, but I don't think it was executed well at all. And I think it would have probably benefited for maybe one or two more rewrites before they shot it. But I think the people that made it, like say the director and the actors, did as well as they could with it. But I did like the few moments, the Geordie thing, and I like the Beverly and Picard thing. That would have been nicer if it went further. But I did like moments of it. So I'm going to give it 3 lollipops out of 5.
Wow, that's very generous. I
Yeah,
have to
just because
say,
Beverly.
I know I kind of said that this is by far the worst episode of season 1 that I've seen so far, and I'll stand by that. But I, I I can understand what you're saying, where they tried to do a couple of different things, and some of it was okay. I thought Geordi and Command was okay. I thought Geordi and Worf working together was good. I liked Tasha in this. I didn't mind the fact that Picard and Beverly. It's just it seemed to me like mainly missed opportunity to do some deeper character work in a backdrop of what might be a tropey storyline anyway. Turn that around and make this episode your own. Make it something where we get to know the characters better, even though we know how it's going to end, even though we've seen the story done better on Star Trek before. Instead, what we got is basically a filler episode. It's just we needed to fill 26 slot this season. The script obviously wasn't ready, but we had to go to camera with something. We had to figure it out. I don't know. Maybe there's some story on it on what is
Memory
it?
Alpha?
Memory Alpha. Yeah, maybe Memory Alpha. Maybe one of the Star Trek books has it. Maybe one of the memoirs has it. But when all is said and done, I expect better of you, Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 1. So because of that, I'm going to give this one least Lowe's fake potted palm out of 5.
1 out of 5. Okay,
1 out of 5.
I see your point. Yeah. We what we didn't talk about the sausage separation. We got a sausage separation.
The
That
sausage
sounds good.
separation, yep.
Sausage separation. That sounds good. Makes me hungry. And don't Google image search the weapon from Arsenal of Freedom. Weird things will come up. Just saying.
Okay.
Just saying.
So yeah, they sure separated the saucer. Big deal. Should that have been a big moment, or do we treat it the way it was treated here as just something the ship can do in a pinch, and isn't that a good thing?
I like that they didn't make a big moment out of it, and they didn't pull the footage of all the kids and running and tripping, trying to get off the battle section.
I dropped my teddy bear. I dropped my teddy bear.
They just focused on Geordi, what he was like thinking before he actually did it.
Right. So yeah, it's more of an organic part of the universe instead of a major event.
Right.
Which is
So,
cool.
and they were going to use it more, but they reused the footage. That was obvious, but you know.
Oh yeah. It's like
Well,
the same
if
way
you
they
got it,
reused
why-
the footage of the ship going to warp every time.
Yep.
So anyway,
All
if you want to tell us what you think about this episode or the sausage separation or what you get when you Google the Arsenal of Freedom laser, there are many ways that you can do
Many
so.
ways.
First and foremost, you can do it right here on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/@Treksploration. Go down below, comment in those comment sections. Tell us why we're good. Tell us why we're bad. Tell
Let
us
us
why you had to
know.
turn us off halfway. I don't know.
Halfway.
It happens apparently, even when our videos are only 20 minutes long.
I thought of making it tighter, but I was like, that's not us, you know?
It's not us.
We're a
No,
little
no.
loose.
No, except for my tidy whities. You can also hit us up on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Treksploration. You can support the show there at many different levels. Become one of the intrepid Trek explorers. Join our crew. You can see all the levels over there. Again, that's patreon.com/Treksploration. We hope that you would consider supporting us by monetary means so that we can keep this show going.
We got an exclusive right now.
But
Available right there.
yeah, we have an N more, right?
Yeah, all about Star Trek Voyager episode 1159, because Ancestors Eve is coming up. So if you are a patron at any level, you can watch that video, get the audio.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
So
And we had a special guest in that episode.
that we did. So check that out. Go on over there. Again, that's patreon.com/Treksploration. And even if you can't support us financially, you can just like us over there for free. You can follow us. So that's always a nice option as well. You can hit us up on the gram at Treksploration Pod. You can blue sky at Treksploration.
Captain Charles is liking our stuff on Blue Sky, so that's cool.
Cool. I still have to get Blue Sky installed on my phone.
You do. We're all
need-
cool over there. We're all just chill.
I need some blue skies.
Yeah.
Email us, treksplorationpod@gmail.com, or send us anything you'd like to send us to the post office box. That's Post Office Box 542, Bayport, New York 11705. You can also support the show on a one-time basis or an occasional basis by buying us a coffee. That's buymeacoffee.com/Treksploration. And And you can always go that extra mile and share the show with your friends who you think might like it. If you like it and you share it and we get more people looking and more people commenting, the better it is for all of us.
Subscribe.
So just remember that if you do leave any comments in any form, it will likely be featured on an upcoming episode of Treksploration. And speaking of upcoming episodes, Albie, what are we doing next?
Well, next is Deep Space Nine, past prologue, season 1, episode 2. A Bajoran terrorist tests Kira's loyalties to the Federation when he attempts to rid Bajor of the Federation for good.
I love the way you say Bajor. I just love the way you said that.
And what's our next generation we're doing, Chris?
I don't even remember what this episode is about, even though I know I saw it. It's season 1, episode 22, Symbiosis.
Symbiosis. It's the one with David Marcus and the pharmaceutical reps.
Oh, that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, so it'd be
Yeah.
good to see Merrick Buttrick.
Merrick Buttrick.
Yep.
Yeah, it's weird that they recast him in a different role because he's so like burned in your brain as David.
Well, David
point.
at that point was, dead. So.
Yeah, but I'm that's probably why you remember him more, right? Though I don't know, but I was like, maybe he had a twin brother and that got frozen or stuck in a transporter beam. Who knows?
Could be.
There's only so many combinations of DNA, I guess.
I guess. But listen, we'll discuss all of that and more, I'm sure, on the next episode of Treksploration.
So for Treksploration, I'm Albie,
And I'm Chris.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Pharmaceutical reps. Yeah, so you got that one. Yeah, it's a tricorder. No, it's a communicator. It's got the moray pattern, moves around. Forget one. They made like 3 or 4 of them. They made kits. I remember when I was a kid, they only had kits. So that's cool. Boom, 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 boom. And it's Deep Space Nine time coming up. Yeah, check out that 11:59 coming up, or it's on our Patreon. Thank you, everybody that joined us live. We appreciate it, and we'll be here next Thursday, probably. What do we cover next Thursday? You want to do past prologue, Chris?
I think DS9 next Thursday.
Sounds great.
Unless we come up with a special. We'll see.
Yeah, special. Bender Snatch? No, not Bender Snatch. The Callister. Did you play Bender? Did you play Bender Snatch?
Oh my God, yes.
That freaked me out.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, one of the episodes this season that I watched that has Doctor Who in it is kind of a sidequel to Bandersnatch, or it takes place in the same in the same time frame.
I only watched the Callister, so I got to watch the other 6 or whatever there are.
Anywho,
So, thank you, live chat.
Thanks, live chat,
fam. I'm gonna hang up
you so
now,
much.
but Chris, stay on the line. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Bye. See you next Thursday.
Latest, Gators.